Yeah.
Well, damn, that was easily the best episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, both in terms of the story as well as the animation, especially the story and what it means for the future of the series. Gojo has been taken out of the picture and the training wheels are forcefully removed from the story. And while we are 33 episodes and a movie deep into the series, some might say that this is where the show truly begins. Welcome my fellow anime-only bros. You have reached the door to hell, and waiting inside are the bodies of countless manga readers who dared to read ahead, only to realize the only thing waiting ahead was pain. This is the Jujutsu Kaisen Shibuya incident. And before diving deep into this phenomenal episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, please leave a like on this video. Each like is one prayer for the manga readers who now have to witness the contents of this episode once again, and subscribe to my channel for more Jujutsu Kaisen and anime/manga content in general. Also, if you're an anime only, I would suggest you to not check the comment sections of any JJK related videos for a while. Something just happened in the manga and people are going absolutely wild and spoiling everyone everywhere. I even got a spoiler comment on a short not even related to Jujutsu Kaisen at all. Mute every JJK related tags on social media and stay safe out there. With all that being said though, let's get started. What makes this episode so great is the fact that this is basically the culmination of everything that the Curses did in season 1 and the payoff to their plan they worked so hard for. In case some of you guys don't remember, it was revealed way back in episode 6 of season 1 that Geto and the Curses will seal Gojo and that they will use the prison realm to do so. And they actually succeeded. The Curses have successfully managed to get rid of the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. Gojo was always this deity that pretty much took out all the stakes out of every conflict in season 1. Everything is gonna be okay, Gojo is here. We just have to hold on until Gojo arrives. And even the villains taking Gojo into account and doing everything they possibly can to temporarily get rid of him. And now they have managed to permanently take out Gojo together with the training wheels of the entire series. Gojo can no longer save the day. In fact, Gojo is the one in need of saving now. And together with the absolutely insane fight between Gojo and the Curses, the masterfully executed plan of Geto, along with the biggest reveal of the series, makes this episode the best in the entire series so far. Now moving on to some of my favorite moments, shots and sequences from this episode. They animated the special page for the start of this episode, and this was a nice start to this episode that gives an ominous vibe setting up for what's about to happen. The Gojo heavy breathing scene was surprising, but I'm sure the fangirls had extra fun watching that scene. Also, one of my favorite parts about this entire fight easily has to be the facial expressions of Gojo and just how freaking unhinged and feral he looks. When I read the manga, those facial expressions were something that really stood out to me, because expressions like those are mostly shown by villains for the most part, and Gojo just looks really damn badass. Also, some of the shots in the hand-to-hand fight between Gojo and the Curses were stunning, with how much fluidity there was in the animation and the movement. Also, the borderline realistic, subtle facial movements, such as when Jogo was panicking, and pretty much every single shot of Gojo were genuinely incredible. Gojo killing Hanami by literally walking towards him was one of the most epic moments of Jujutsu Kaisen in its entirety, especially with him saying who's next right after he's done with Hanami, with the most menacing look you'll see. I won't talk much about Geto, or should I say the brain's plan, in this video, because my god, I need to make a separate video about just how disgustingly thorough and effective this man's plan was. Brain-kun must have graduated from the University of Villainy as the top student. Mahito coming in with a train full of transfigured humans was so damn fucked up, especially with how Mahito acts like he's the energetic best friend character that you see in romance animes, and how he casually mentions hunting people on after releasing them into the forest. Every time I see Mahito's face, I just get annoyed. Shouts out to Jjk for making one of the most annoying anime characters I have ever seen. Mahito and Choso's tag team attack was one of the best parts about this episode. As soon as people fall down from above being held by Hanami's tree roots, They both unleash their technique to deliver us one of the most gruesome anime scenes you will ever see in a shonen anime. All the blood, the decapitated body parts, their organs, and how everything just splatters everywhere around Gojo, and he can do nothing but watch. But even though this was an highlight moment for me, there are still so many other moments in this episode that could easily be the highlight of any other episode. But they packed all of those into one single episode, and it's glorious. Then we get Gojo's domain expansion for 0.2 seconds, and it was absolutely insane. It genuinely left me speechless. After he releases his domain and starts going absolutely on the transfigured humans, my jaw was on the floor. He goes on a killing spree of what seems like an infinite amount of transfigured humans, and one thing I absolutely love about this scene was the fact that they did not cut this scene after just a few seconds. We get to see him killing them non-stop for what feels like an eternity, just to make us feel the insanity of what's happening. And in 299 seconds after releasing his domain, the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer of the modern era kills over 1,000 transfigured humans. This was an incredible scene, and my jaw was on the floor the entire time. Then we finally get to the prison realm and Geto's reveal, which was without a doubt the best part about this episode. This scene was handled absolutely perfectly, especially the music when Geto appears, and just how shocking it is for Gojo. He just killed his best friend less than 2 years ago, and right in front of him, he appears in his body, this time inhabited by a brain with a mouth, whose cursed technique is the ability to take over bodies by replacing the brain, and he can even use the cursed techniques of the body he takes over. Gojo has been sealed along with a shocking twist, and the sorcerers have suffered a massive loss. The series has flipped the switch, and you are not ready for the next 14 episodes of this arc. Granted, the next few might be a bit slower compared to this, but this arc is just getting started, and it only gets crazier. Now moving on to the production side of things, this episode was probably the best produced Jujutsu Kaisen episode so far. There were some absolutely incredible shots and animated sequences. The characters never looked off-model, and the direction of this episode was phenomenal. I do have to say that I'm slightly disappointed in the music this season. It just feels like there's a lot less variety compared to Season 1. Season 1 had some absolutely incredible and unique music that always felt new, whereas in Season 2, I feel like I've been hearing tracks being reused in a lot of scenes, such as when Gojo was on a killing spree, they used the same music as his encounter with Toji, and even that track was used in a lot of scenes from the Hidden Inventory arc. Obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's my opinion of the music this season. Thankfully, the ghosting and dimming this episode was nowhere near as bad as the previous episode, and they just didn't have a lot of scenes in general where they used ghosting, though there definitely were a lot of shots that would look way better without the dimming though. But at least dimming doesn't actively ruin good animation. And those are my thoughts on this incredible episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Obviously goes without saying, but this was a 10 out of 10 episode and my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen episode so far. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Jujutsu Kaisen and anime content in general. With all that being said though, have a nice day and hopefully see you guys in my next video.